what I tend to do is I tend to try to be really authentic to who I am in my storytelling. And so I always want to tell the story of the other person, but in doing so, I'm also telling the story of myself. And in telling that story, I'm attracting the people who can relate with that, who want to, hear my stories, who want to be a part of my stories. And in that authenticity, you just collect your tribe. And I think if you're going to tackle media and you're going to put yourself out there, figure out who you are.
Well, another great episode is what we're going to get to hear today. Why? Well, I'm so excited. Every now and then in life, we get to meet some incredible people that, well, is imprinters, is that even the right word? If somebody's like, they touch you in their life and they leave an imprint of great value just by touching you for a moment. There are some magical unicorns that live out there in the universe that I found that have that very special gift of being beautiful quickly and leaving a moment of value, of inspiration behind. Today, we're going to meet with one of the greatest imprinters I've ever met in my life. We're going to meet with Tara Polley, an incredible woman up in Sonoma County. What a fun area to call home. But we're going to learn a little bit in today's story about Tara's journey. And well, here's a woman, and I'll let her share her story. And I can't wait for you to hear. Why? Because here's an incredible woman, Emmy-nominated, Telly Award-winning, national television host on some of the biggest networks on every major streaming platform that exists. You're going to find Tara Polley imprinting people that watch her segments. What I mean by that is that you'll see today an incredible woman that leaves people believing for more. Tara, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me, Scott, and for all your kind words. I very much appreciate that. I feel the same about you.
Well, that's so kind. And Tara, please, isn't it true? Okay, isn't it true in life that even though we might not have been doing something as powerful as we are today, wasn't it the yesterdays that help us to get there? So here you and I are meeting, and here you are, literally a national television star and award-winning, and you've got another one. I think you got another Emmy Awards on their way, I'm sure of it. And Tara, you didn't get to start this way. You and I know each other well, and we share a lot in common. And I really, if it's okay, I'd love to explore a little bit backwards in life, because I think a lot of us in life start from our somewhere. And it's on the journey that we get empowered to start believing differently.
Yeah.
But Tara, your journey's different. Your journey started untraditionally and kind of played that way all the way through, where one might think, well, then she can't do that. May I ask, Tara, please? Have you always been a national TV star? Were you somebody different, younger? What was a little bit about your upbringing, if you don't mind sharing?
Well, that's so nice, Scott. I definitely started from modest beginnings. I had a single mom, and she was very adventurous. So she would open up a map and put her finger down, and we would move wherever her finger landed. And that was great to a degree, right? But also, there's a lot of logistics that come along with that. Like, where are you going to live, right? And so sometimes that was our car until we could find a house and she could find a job. And that was just the way we lived for a long time. And I really had to develop resilience and adaptability. And some of the strongest characteristics I think that have helped make me successful were built in that time period.
Wow. So you guys would just look at the map and mom would point and there you go.
There you go.
Just like that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about life's adventures.
Yeah.
But how do you connect to friends in school?
Right.
And how do you keep that? And is it just you, Tara? Were you an only child?
I am an only child. So it was just me and mom.
Wow.
And
just you and mom on this journey.
Yep. We were very, very close also, right? Again, I did always have to start at a new school and make new friends and leave friends behind, right? But I really feel strongly that those are positive things for me now, because guess what? I can make friends everywhere I go. And in the job that I have, I can connect with people quickly. And those were blessings. You know what I mean? It'd be really easy to look at those things and use them as a crutch or, see it negatively. But honestly, I just think it's exactly what made me who I am today.
I love that. Tara, please. Did you always think that way about it?
Yeah, I think so. Even when it's hard, gosh, there were lots of tears along the way as, I left friends or places that I really grew to love. But now as an adult, I can look back and I can say, these are the things I took away from it. You don't see it as a lesson at the time, right? You don't see it as the building blocks that make you who you are. You just get through it. And I think it also helped build strength in me. So a lot of times there are things that I've been through that I think, gosh, you know what? That was a building block for where I am now. And if I hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't appreciate where I am today.
And you are somewhere incredible today. I mean, I'm only talking about your national television work, your local television work, your media work. I'm even talking about your career work in real estate. My gosh, one of the biggest, most significant realtors in Northern California, definitely in your community, working with one of the largest brands, making such an impact and running a career. And Tara, allow me, if I may. When did you start? When did you start, and how did you start in real estate? And what was your journey when you said yes to the idea in this career field? Because a lot of our listeners are in the service industry of sorts, and yours is unique, right? Because you only get paid if you close a deal. How did all of that make sense for you in real estate?
Yeah. Initially it started out as, my kids were little. I have 4 children, and I just thought, gosh, I would really love to find a career where I could spend some time in their classroom and I can pick them up from school and I have a little more flexibility. And this seemed like something that would allow me to do that. Little did I know, right? So when you're in real estate, it doesn't quite work like that. Yeah. No. Right. But that's how it started. And what's incredible about that is that it was sort of, a fluke in a way to get into that. It was a means to an end. And then I just really discovered a passion for it, because going back to my beginnings, the word home is so important to me, right? Because we changed homes so many times. And so it became not just about a structure, not just about helping people find somewhere to open the door and settle in at the end of the day. It really became about like a feeling of belonging. Where do we belong, right? Like, where do we build community? Where do we, find ourselves? And that's really home, right? So real estate just sort of naturally tied into all of that. And so it's not just about like transactions for me. It's not just about that commission. It's really about helping people find that feeling and find where they belong.
I love all of that because I know so much more. And oh my gosh. And Tara, share with me, please, because in that industry, we have to be known. We've got to be great at marketing so the market knows that we're passionately available to help them. And there's so many people that try to make it in the industry, and not everybody gets the chance to be the true power players of their local markets. Some get the chance. You're definitely one, not only in your local market, on a global market. And allow me, please, Tara, how long did it take on your career path? What was that one aha event that allowed this level of success to start unlocking so that you could start believing that you've really made the best choice and that you're not, I don't know if you ever thought at the beginning that I'm going to fake it till I make it type thing, that I might not be the person who I think I am. And I don't know if you had any of that starting in career, and when the big changes happened, when you started doing you sell so many, my God. Tara, please, for you, how long did that moment come? How long did it take to make real estate start behaving?
Gosh, that's a great question. I've been doing it now for 25 years, which is crazy to say out loud. But, I think the first time you hand over keys, like there's a moment, if this is what you are passionate about, right? Just being able to hand someone keys and seeing the look on their face, That's the moment
Mm.
where you go like, yeah, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. So when you come from authenticity, when you come from passion, and it's, more than just a paycheck, I feel like I fell into it pretty quickly. It probably took me 2 or 3 years to really get my feet under me and get the ball rolling. But
Was it just you, Tara, when you first started? Were you a solo agent or did you do with the
honey,
team?
I've always been a solo agent. It's what I do, right? I'm an only child. I just operate well in that type of environment. And even to this
Incredibly well.
day, yeah, I just do everything myself. It's just easier for me, right, than operating with a team. So I definitely do everything independently.
And I love that. And I'd like to explore a little bit of that and how you do it so well. Because you don't just do it alone. No, 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 no. You do agency level quality work yes. So I'd love to dig into a little bit of that together. So it took you a couple of years to find your initial footing in industry as you began inside of industry. Tara, please, can I ask when you were starting and maybe even still today, for me, every now and then I get this little man on my shoulder that says doubt. How will they like you? How will I do at it? And did I do the right things? And I want to flick that little thing off my shoulder and get it off. I don't know if you have a little girl who comes up there on your little shoulder of doubt that you need to flick off every now and then. I sure do. Can I ask, did you ever have a little something on your shoulder tapping at you every now and then and at the beginning that was sticking in thoughts of doubt? And if so, how did you kick her off your shoulder and make it behave anyway? What did you do? And what do you do?
Scott, oh my gosh. Yeah, I
Right? Because I
think
think a lot of us have a little shoulder of a little doubt whispering in our ear.
absolutely so true. And yeah, I think it was like a feeling of not being good enough, right? Because I had grown up, with the environment that I had. And so I always felt like I was trying to fit in, like I was trying to make friends, like, that I wasn't good enough because we didn't have the money that other people had. We didn't have the opportunity that other people had. And so, of course, there were, always voices saying, like, can you really do this? I don't know. I think just doing it, right? Having just the faith to take the leap and saying, like, I might really, just suck at this and I'm just going to do it anyway, right? Like being willing to take those chances.
Oh my gosh, Tara, was somehow you built that up? Can I ask? My mind's traveling. I'm seeing a beautiful young girl at home. Mom's at work.
Yeah.
And there's Tara, an only child. I see Tara alone sometimes. I see mom being busy and Tara creating her own self fun.
Yeah.
What does Tara fun look like? If you remember back when you were younger and you were in those moments, and some of those moments didn't feel good, how did you make not feeling good feel good, especially when you were alone?
Oh my gosh, you are really killing me today, Scott.
I don't mean to, but I think a
It's like a
lot of us
therapy session.
have those moments in life. And I think that we become incredibly powerful people
Mm.
like you are because you did something inside of those moments and you did not allow those moments to overtake you. You did something different and you're an incredibly powerful woman today. And I think we all start in the somewhere. And I think in the somewhere for many of us are moments that we have self doubt, that we have a lot of things that may not feel right. And there's something that some of us can do to make the not feel right feel better. For me, I used to fantasize. I might grab a comic book. I would do something that would help me to see that. And
Yeah.
I don't know if you did
For
anything
sure.
magical
I
like
mean,
that. Was
your
it?
question is so interesting, and you don't even realize, like, you're sort of hitting a nerve for me that's recent, actually, because I've thought about this a lot. And you've hit the nail on the head about the way that I grew up, right? I was very much a latchkey kid. I'd come home, I got my own dinner ready, I did my homework, I got myself ready for bed, I got up the next day, got myself to school. My mom was working 3 jobs to get us by. So there wasn't a lot of time. And she was amazing, by the way. She was a warrior. But I don't want
Mm.
to disparage her hard work. But that being said, I had to be very mature at a very young age. And what that meant is that I've recently learned how to be playful, right? Like having fun was secondary to survival. So,
Oh.
it took a long time for me to really be able to not take everything so seriously and kind of just be able to be playful and have fun. So, such an interesting question.
Is it? Well, I was sitting there with it because I was literally visualizing beautiful you as a little girl.
Aw.
And then I'm seeing mom busy at work trying to make life behave. And that it was the tools that mom could unlock that allowed life to behave, whatever fashion it was behaving.
Yeah.
But it sounds like I think mom was in charge of making that. And then, well,
Mhm.
there's beautiful you
Well, I think
left
it's
to
mindset,
interpret it all.
right? It's mindset. You
Yes.
just have to, like, for me, it was music. You said comic books. For me, it was
Oh,
music. So I think the information you take in and the way you think about life, it can be manipulated. You can choose to see things positively and optimistically. And so the music you choose to listen to, for me, is a big part of that. So I was always gravitating to things that were, songs that were about like, you can do it. You're going to get
yes.
through this. Like, this is going to be okay. That's the kind of music I like to listen to versus, I don't know, like heavy metal, like, the life sucks. Right. So it's just about mindset. And it just, anytime I would have negative thoughts, I would stop myself and redirect and find the things that inspired me instead.
Oh, so powerful. Tara, what a gorgeous gift. Music was your gifted tool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when I would break up growing up and I had breakups, I'd turn to music
Yeah.
to find the song to find my feeling
Hmm.
through.
Exactly. Yeah. Me
What a
too.
cool tool as a kid to use that.
It helps
Wow.
shape the way that I see the world too. You know what I mean? Like, again, just choosing to listen to the things that will help you shape your vision.
Well, and then please, here you are now. So now you're in career. You're literally one of the most successful agents up in Northern California. I love, 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 love. For anybody that's listening, you're going to go look up Polly's Properties, Polleys Properties, IES at the end. You're going to do it at Instagram, at YouTube, wherever you are, you go find there. I promise you, look her up. When I say dynamic content creator, an imprinter, you only need to see one of her pieces of content to be imprinted. You'll see why I said she's incredibly strong that way. Tara, please, have you always been camera comfortable?
Oh gosh, no. Oh my goodness. Not at all. Right. And it goes back to that, like, you know what, I'm uncomfortable. That's why I should do it. And I'm just going to be willing to like be terrible at it until I'm not anymore. Because just about anything you want to do, you're not going to be great at it in the beginning, but you'll get there. Right. And so
Yes.
just keep consistent and just keep doing it. So, yeah, no, I was terrified to be on camera. And today it's given me confidence, it's given me relationships, it's given me things that I just had no idea that taking that leap of faith was going to give me.
What was your first media project that required that leap of faith?
The first
How long
media
ago did you
project.
do that?
Well, I mean, certainly being a part of the American dream, it's been a game changer, right? Like, being approached and selected as a host to represent wine country on this national television show. That sounded so huge, sounded so big. It was so scary, but also exciting, you know?
Well, you sure make it exciting.
Oh, thank you. It's become something I look forward to. It's become something that is just a piece of my heart. I just think I'll do it forever if they let me.
And I don't think anybody's ever going to let you not do it. I mean, here you are. Who becomes one of the newest stars on television as the host and runs and does a show at the Super Bowl? Who runs
Yeah.
out there? I mean, come on. Who goes out there and becomes part of the TEDx conferences and becomes significant? Well, Tara Polley does. And who runs out there and turns a Taco Tuesday on a bicycle thing about Sonoma County into a Telly Award winning show? Well, you do. Tara, Okay. So as you're getting your shows all together and you're coming up with your great ideas, please, well, for our listeners, can I ask how's some of the to do it? Because a lot of us we know we're supposed to be doing media. We know that if we're in the service industry and other real estate professionals, because I'm in that industry as well, and mortgage, that we know that video content is valuable, but so many of us just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, please, knowing that not only do you do it, holy crap, you do it at the Polly's property, everybody. Go look her up. You'll see what I mean. How do you do it? Tara, please, for our listeners, what tools might they be able to employ to start doing the uncomfortable that they know they should, but they're not?
Yeah. So, I have 4 children and they're all grown now. And most of my life, I feel like I've been a mom and I, was a wife and, I had that as my identity. And so when my kids finally grew up and my last child moved out of the house and I had to look at being an empty nester, I really had to ask myself, like, besides being a mom, who am I? Right. And by sitting down and really understanding that and really thinking about that, like, what do I love? What do I like to do? And for me, those are very specific things. I did the Super Bowl because I'm a sports fan, I'm a dog lover, I love country music. So I've done several country music episodes. And so just figuring those things out, I think has really helped me with the media, because what I tend to do is I tend to try to be really authentic to who I am in my storytelling. And so I always want to tell the story of the other person, but in doing so, I'm also telling the story of myself. And in telling that story, I'm attracting the people who can relate with that, who want to, hear my stories, who want to be a part of my stories. And in that authenticity, you just collect your tribe. And I think if you're going to tackle media and you're going to put yourself out there, figure out who you are.
I love that so much. I don't think many of us stop to pause to think of that avatar of self and what's so valuably important to us. And Tara, would you recommend to our listeners? I think so many of us look at our content. We make the content, then we look at the content, and then we start thinking about the things we didn't like about the content. What is your recommendation for those that sometimes get stuck and they built the content, but they're not releasing their content because they're worried how they look, how they sounded?
Yeah.
What should those people that are hearing us now?
Well, I know for me, I am definitely that person, right? I was like, when I decided to do American Dream, I knew that I was going to get it back and I was just going to pick myself apart. My hair didn't look good that day. I didn't like the way my voice sounded on camera. I'm like, oh, I could lose a couple pounds, right? So there was a lot of that kind of stuff. And I just made a commitment to myself in advance that even if I feel that way, I'm just going to send it out into the world. I'm just going to let it be what it is. And I'm just going to send it out into the world and I'm going to keep it moving to the next thing. Right. So not thinking about it a little bit, right? Not overthinking
and just
it.
Release
just
it.
release it. Just put it out there. And it's so interesting because the way we see ourselves is almost never the way others see us.
Yes. Isn't that bizarre how our minds pick ourselves apart, but nobody else does? They're like, wow.
Yeah.
And I love that you said just to release it. I fully agree, Tara. I think it's just valuable. Just release it. Why? Because of what you said earlier. So many powerful things. Do you know what I love the most that I just heard?
What?
Allow your true. And I know sometimes it's uncomfortable to be available for our true authentic selves for the world to see, especially if we're in a service industry. I think a lot of us want to portray what we think people want to see us as.
Yeah.
For me, I'm a huge Costco lover. Anybody
yes,
who
you
knows
are.
me knows
You
I'm
should
at Costco
be a
if I'm not
Costco
working.
spokesperson.
Right?
I love that about you. And it makes you unique and lovable.
Yeah, somebody might say that's weird and odd, but it's what you just said. It could be available also. And that's why I suggest whatever it is that we might be hung up on about ourselves, release.
Yep.
Release and allow. Why? Because what Tara just said, you're going to attract your tribe. We go once in these bodies. Play with those that love you and that you love back. And if they're not, They don't belong in your tribe. So we're not going to speak to them anyway. That's the gift about social. It filters out the people we don't want. And how can you do it if you're not posting who you authentically are? Tara, I love your incredible, incredible authenticity. Even right now, to share about your gorgeous youth and the uniqueness that must have been, and very emotionalizing at times. And then to be with self to figure out what to do with the emotions. And then look at what you are now as an, oh my God, an incredible woman, a mother of four. You give so much. Tara, I don't know when you stop giving, my love. You are a true giver to the heart. Not only are you incredibly well recognized in our industry and on TV, but please, you're one of the most respected hosts on the entire network. You even coach each week and inspire others to self believe. You're one of the most powerful women I've ever known in my
Oh
life.
my God, that's so
And I
sweet.
love it
Thank you.
because I love who you are authentically. And I love who you came up through. And your beauty shines regardless. And you share it so much with others. And I don't think many of us have that ability to do that the way you can. And I love you so much for coming on today and sharing so much story with people and allow our listeners to believe on who they can be. And can I ask, please, Tara, when you are creating the things you create different, each project you take on, you create a vision through it because I see it in the product that you put out. And it was just nothing. It was just an address. It was just a house. But with you, it becomes an event. You create it into a thing. You bring life to moments. May I ask you, I think most of us would love to bring life to moments. As you're designing a moment that you're bringing to life, Tara, are there any things that you do that are transferable to a listener that maybe help them to set up? Maybe they want to highlight something that they like, but really wanted to do well on the social, even though they're authentically doing it, might not be excellent at it. Is it AI? Is there anything that they can do to help get framed up to start doing the uncomfortable? What might our listeners get started with, Tara?
I do use AI, right? Chat GPT has become my best friend. I love it, but
Oh,
it really helps me shape the vision that I have. One of the tools that I have adapted is going onto YouTube and finding someone that I like, someone that I look up to or that I want to be like, right? And so there are creators on YouTube that create some incredible content. And by adapting some of their formulas or adapting some of the ways that they storytell, I've been able to craft my own version of that. And AI helps with that. So sometimes if I'm writing a script for my next segment, then I can plug it into ChatGPT and I can ask it to give me a version in a similar style as so and so on YouTube, and it will help me with that. So just finding people that I look up to and taking pieces of that to create my own vision.
that's so powerful. I adore you.
I adore
So
you.
it feels so just normal to you, but I love what you just said. Emulate, get inspired.
Yeah.
Tara, I do the same thing. I go online and I see different things. I pick the pieces and books that I read, I pick the pieces, and then I get inspired. What a great way to do it for those that aren't doing it yet. See what others are doing and find your version of doing it and just start doing it.
Yeah.
How do you do it? You just start doing it. And of course it's uncomfortable. We didn't do it yesterday. That's okay. Just believe boldly.
It's one of those things, like the people that are putting things out there doing it at all is still way ahead of the people who aren't doing it, right? So even if
Yes.
it's not the best version of you yet, just simply starting is going to be better than the people that are not, right?
No, and especially in a digital world.
Yeah.
I used to think it's so hard to be found in a digital world because the cable networks, there's so many channels. Who's going to be tuned into the one we might be up? But then I realized this, Tara. I've realized we're only down to about 5 networks or just a few when you think about it, right? Because Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, whatever we're on or using, it's a distribution channel. It's a network channel, and people are tuned in. I don't know who isn't. And you know what I love the most? Tara. When I grew up, it cost companies money to go onto those distribution networks. I love that it doesn't cost anything in 2025 to get your look at me time stamping our visit. But as of right now, you can post on social for free and share your story with those willing to watch you. And people are going to watch you more when you put out more consistent, authentic content. Be your beautiful self and just go. And Tara, please, as we close out this amazing visit, might I ask you, so, I wish they made time machines. Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun? But will you come into a little fantasy with me? Could we have a chance to go step into a time machine together? And can we go back in time? Can we go back to your youthful, beautiful self, that little girl? And can we go back to your 10-year-old self? That little girl, 10 years old, getting ready to become a woman, getting ready to shift and change, a very pivotal moment in life. And this time machine only allowed you to be with yourself. You don't get much time. You'll get lucky if you even get 10 words in. It's short-lived in this fantasy. What would your little young, beautiful 10-year-old self need to know if you could just go back and tell her something? What would you tell yourself?
Oh, gosh, I think I would tell her to believe in herself, that she has value, she's worth it, and to take the chances and be bold.
I just adore you. I just adore you. I think that's it, my Tara, isn't it? Believe, dream, activate, and believe again. I just adore you.
So easy to get caught up in our insecurities and to feel inadequate in things. I just think that, like you said, we have one life, and it's not worth it to hold on to those.
Well, in these bodies, and we better live it through. And you know what? We're the writers. We're the authors of the book we're writing, and the book is on us. And so I suggest be careful with the typewriter. Hit delete when it doesn't behave anymore and start a new chapter. It's okay. And I love it. Tara, thank you for sharing the light that is yours. You're an incredible giver. Just today was a gorgeous time of spending time with you. For those that are listening to us right now, Tara, please, Polley's Properties, is there any other way that somebody would find you that I'm not thinking of? Because they sure should. Everybody should be following Tara. She is a bright light that constantly, consistently inspires all of us. Follow her. You're going to love how you feel.
Thank you. Just my website, maybe welcomehomesonoma.com. If you're in Northern California, I'd love to meet you.
Oh my gosh. And wait till you meet Tara in person. Virtual and listening is one thing, but getting to visit with Tara, you'll see what I mean by starting this with imprinter. I don't even know if that's a word. I just made it up.
It is now.
That's how I feel. Yeah. It is now. Well, I just adore you. Thank you for sharing your time with us today and all of our listeners. And for those of us that are watching, this is not our only chance to see Tara. Tune in. You'll find her on HGTV. You'll find Tara on the Travel Channel. For sure, you're going to find her on Amazon, Apple TV, Roku, everywhere you get your streaming through. There's Tara. And Tara, you're an incredible woman, full of inspiration. Thank you again for joining us on Believe Boulder.
It's such an honor to be a part of it. I'm so excited for this venture for you and for this podcast. It's really, really valuable. It's what people need to hear, I think, in the world. So thank you for doing it.
Well, thank you. And thank you for joining us. We do this because, you matter. We all matter. We all matter together. And today might be a great day to give a friend a hug. I'm going to. Anyway, I can't wait to visit with you next time. Bye.